Alright, ready?
Kayfabe Gimmicks! You know where to find us on Facebook. We're on YouTube. Fiction Entertainment, brother. YouTube. Fiction Entertainment, brother. YouTube.
Fucking #1 Kayfabe Gimmicks podcast ever. So.
How are you looking for?
Put words in the wrong place.
Are you recording all this, dude? The best wrestling podcast that's always been.
What you gonna do, brother, when the beast starts talking about wrestling and drinking whiskey and it's all crazy up in here?
So, this is Kayfabe Gimmicks. It's me, Snuva. I got Roughly here, and I got Hez here.
Yo.
How y'all doing?
Now, we are going to blow Hez's mind, and I think we're going to hear some shit really, really fast. Guess what happened today, Hez?
What happened?
An image leaked. A very special image of something happening in New York City right now. They put up a billboard. I'm going to let Ruff tell you what the billboard says.
Billboard has this image that my mind is just like blown away from, because it's a billboard for Mania that gives the date and has Lesnar with the belt over his shoulder on one side of the sign and Roman Reigns on the other. Which means we've already leaked out the winner for the Rumble.
No.
Literally.
He sounds like he's going to cry.
In New York.
Wait, because, damn.
The background image is Sting versus Triple H.
Damn. Is it, wait, are y'all sure that it was, like, WWE that put it up, or
Dude,
some,
it says
like,
March
douchebags?
29th. It has WrestleMania on it. I mean, you're
But
right.
was
It
it-
could be some
it
crazy
could-
leak.
It could also just be a douche, like an elaborate hoax, dude.
But when was the last time we had an elaborate hoax put up to ruin a WrestleMania event?
You know what? WrestleMania has also never been as big as it has been in the last couple of years and going forward. So I don't know, man. I'm trying to be optimistic because, like, that's just like the worst news ever.
All right, well, I got a phone in from Alex, and
This is gonna be probably as bad as Goldberg versus Lesnar.
okay. I got a phone in from Alex. He just sent me a message saying it's going to be a train wreck like Goldberg versus Lesnar. The WrestleMania crowd is always high on the smart count. Most don't like Reigns. He doesn't have a good wrestling moveset. He's a brawler. It's going to be an ugly match where Lesnar destroys him till Reigns drops a spear and wins. The two of them won't put on a match. It won't be a huge face pop like what they were hoping for. In the end, we'll get Lesnar slamming around Reigns punching a few times, F5 kick out, Superman punch, spear match. Believe that. That's his exact words.
I mean,
And people
that
can
sounds...
complain all they want to about the Giant Killer story being old and tired. It still makes for a better match to have someone like Daniel Bryan going against Lesnar than it ever is going to be just selling big muscle, especially with someone who is not great on the mic and someone who doesn't have a huge moveset.
All right. Now, on my mindset, this is... I mean, it was really, really expected. I got into it with O'Leary last night. O'Leary's like, man, my man D-Bry is going to have this awesome match against Lesnar, but that's not what WWE wants. WWE has not achieved finding wrestling. They're still a professional entertainment business, and that's what they're doing here. That's what we've got.
I don't know, man, but with this massive leak, you know, they could always just change plans.
I know, man,
And
but
go
then
with...
you're going to have to reprint out anything you've made that has Lesnar and Reigns on it, and you probably have a lot of that stuff printed out right now.
It'll be the new Dewey button.
Letta wanted to chime in for a second. Hez, your picture makes you look like Daniel Bryan with that beard and that long-ass hair.
Oh, I look amazing.
All right. So this is actually going to be our pre-Royal Rumble episode real quick. Thoughts? Has anything changed? I want to start with you, Will.
You know, I'm still gonna have to go with Daniel Bryan for the underdog. The underdog win.
rough. Do you still think there's any chance of anybody besides Reigns winning right now?
I mean, this leak has got my mind blown, but I absolutely say that it needs to be Brian's story. I mean, it was ridiculous for them to have his wife carrying the Divas division, regardless of whether or not the belt was involved, for all those months while Brian was getting rehabbed. If they're not going to put him right back at the top of the card, I don't see any logic behind it. I mean, the only other thing is you could do is something silly like have Kane take him out of the Rumble again, and then we're back to a feud that's back on mid-card status because there's no heat. We've already been there. We already know that he can stand up against anyone because he did 2 matches last Mania.
Or when was the last time they did a triple threat or fatal 4-way at the WrestleMania?
I don't think it's been that long.
It's been. I mean,
We had a triple threat last year. Shit.
Oh yeah, we did. Fuck.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, that was Daniel Bryan fought 4 people for the. 3 people for the fucking title.
He fought 4 technically.
Yeah, Triple H, Orton, Batista. Did Kane come back out? Or no, Stephanie McMahon, I guess.
All I know is I'm still not feeling this because, once again, if you're putting Reigns on top of this, you've got a champ who doesn't have a Heyman in his corner, who is not great on the mic. You can't shove someone who doesn't have that kind of charisma down our throats. Brian's got the charisma, and he's okay on the mic. But Stone Cold was huge because of how he delivered promo. Rock was huge because of how he delivered promo. It doesn't matter how big the muscle is, unless you can sell charisma, and that usually means promo unless you're Undertaker, you're not going to have heat as a champ, face or heel.
What eater tips with you?
The days of the Ultimate Warriors are definitely over.
I mean, really, where is there to go once you put the belt on Reigns?
All right, guys. I mean, once Reigns has the belt, I feel like you have a stronger way to go than you do with Brock Lesnar right now. And this is what I was getting into it about last night. Right now, you have nobody built strong enough to beat on the indomitable monster you have out of motherfucking Brock Lesnar. And you have given him such an insane amount of hype between everything he's ever done in his life, and more importantly, where he's currently at in his life after he beat The Undertaker, squashed John Cena. I hear a lot of water running. Or somebody's digging through some chips.
I was getting some bread.
Oh my god. But the point remains.
I'm seriously still just trying to wrap my head around this. Because a champ who can't talk, I mean, as tired as we are of Cena, at least he's got a mouth on the mic. He knows how to get people excited for or against him. Whether or not you like him, you've got an opinion about him. Meanwhile, everyone is still scratching their head over back of stock.
Oh my bread.
Jack and the Beanstalk?
Well, apparently we might have jumped the gun, and apparently this might be a fake poster. But
Boom, told you.
The point remains. This still seems like the most likely thing they're going to go with. I don't really see the need to change it to Daniel Bryan right now. I mean, Daniel Bryan's still not portrayed strong enough to beat Lesnar.
Yeah, dude, he's gonna put SmackDown on his back and make Raw his bitch. That's what Daniel Bryan's gonna do.
I mean, I'm sorry, that's even weaker for me. You're saying the face of SmackDown, that show nobody watches, is strong enough to beat the man who killed the dead man?
He's gonna make it relevant again. I mean, no. This isn't Daniel Bryan going up against The Undertaker. This is Daniel Bryan going
Against the
up
man who
against
killed
a
the
cocky,
Undertaker. Who killed
a
the
cocky
Undertaker.
son of a... It was sad, all right? I don't want to talk about it.
All right, we didn't have you on for our Monday podcast. Obviously, the Raw before SmackDown, or the Raw before Rumble. But you watched it. I know you marked out about Sting. But let's
It
start
was
out.
the greatest Raw ever.
I was actually going to start out with a different question. How did you feel about Daniel Bryan in the ring?
I mean, okay, so like the match with Bray was kind of slow, but Bryan did show that he can, he's not afraid to like take his normal risk or something. You saw that suicide dive to the outside.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome. Also looked like he damn near broke his neck, but it was awesome.
All right. Now, go ahead, mark out about Sting showing up. You know you want to.
Greatest fucking shit. Oh my god, Sting doesn't even have to, holy shit. It was awesome. It was awesome. Fucking, Sting just shows up. He's like, nah, man. Nah, shit ain't going down like that. And everyone's like, God damn it. It was awesome.
So, tonight SmackDown's going to happen, or by the time you listen to this, SmackDown's already over. So, starting with Ruff, I want to say, Ruff, we now know Dolph Ziggler and Ryback made it into the Rumble because they won their matches, and Eric Rowan did not make it into the Rumble because he lost his match. Thoughts?
Ziggy's going to be in the top 6. He's going to get some serious airtime while in the Rumble, but he's not Final Four. Not this year. I also got this thing about what Steph McMahon said to The Miz months ago. There's nothing worse than a superstar that peaks out too soon. And I kind of feel like
too soon?
we gave a big title to him and we gave a big title to Ziggler, and it was real early. And that's setting a trend of 6-year careers, because there's really nowhere to go if you're going to put the IC strap back on somebody, or you're going to put the US title back on somebody after they've already had like the big gold.
Hez, what are your thoughts about these two making it into the Rumble?
I think Ziggler...
Real quick before you say that, I just want to say the picture that I saw on the Wrestle Inc. Twitter does not appear to be the exact location. So, it could still be real. I haven't seen anything saying that this is really fake yet.
Could be an elaborate hoax.
But go ahead. Ryback and Zigglesworth have made it in there.
I think Ziggler is definitely going to be like one of the workhorses for the Rumble. Pretty much carry that shit for like 45, 50 minutes before he eventually gets eliminated. And then, I mean, we'll see how Ryback does. He didn't do too bad the year Cena won. What was that, 2 years ago? And then, I don't know, you know how, I think this Rumble might be a lot of like storyline, the Rumble match itself is just going to have too many intertwining stories, like Kane costing Daniel Bryan, and, Rowan might come in and cost Luke Harper.
I think Rowan costing Luke Harper would be the best thing we've done, because we have not had a feud between these guys at all. And if anything, we should have Bray Wyatt and Harper kind of still as a team. We've been talking about how the cult leader has no cult lately.
Right, but they've kind of been teasing a feud between Harper and Rowan. They've had a couple matches, but like it's mainly just been good guys versus the Authority, not like actually Rowan pissed off at Harper.
Now, the closest thing
So-
I found to faking this is there is a picture of the Ultimate Fighter. There's an Ultimate Fighter of Team Lesnar versus Team Dos Santos on that exact corner right now. But that was from 2010. So, anything's possible. I think Reigns versus Lesnar is still a big possibility, and I don't think WWE's given up on that at all. And more importantly, I don't feel like the uproar that's going to happen today is going to do jack shit to really turn them off of that idea.
Yeah, I mean, we're still not getting these sort of things that we really should.
Sorry.
Yeah, you got a lot of feedback, buddy. So, as this is our WrestleMania special and things are a little weird, I do want to throw a quick shout out to Unclean Spitter, because I know that man is going to put in some Royal Rumble tidbits throughout this podcast. But at this point, the Rumble is going to go down. We know Lesnar is going to retain. That's pretty much a guarantee. I think we're all agreed there.
But Rollins still has his briefcase, though, right?
He does, man, but we know Lesnar's contract doesn't end until right after WrestleMania.
Maybe Rollins will cash in at Mania and save us all.
I think that would be a great way to fix whatever the fuck goes on at that match. Because it could be one of the shittiest matches ever. I brought it up last night. If Daniel Bryan wins, I don't give a shit. I want Rollins to cash in and make it the shortest reign ever. I'm sorry. If you have Rollins finally cash in, Rollins versus Daniel Bryan is a great feud leading into the months after WrestleMania.
Yeah,
Great
definitely.
fucking
Yeah.
You get,
No,
you
that's a
get the
good
kind
point.
of action in the ring that I crave the most. You get the kind of fast-paced matches that I live for.
And more importantly, if it happens, you end Mania and you make sure that you have people subscribed all the way through Extreme Rules and the next pay-per-view, the next pay-per-view. You have a feud that's going to make people watch because, oh my god, we just had a fucking cash-in at the very end of Mania. Oh my fucking god. Shit hits the fan. That Monday Night Raw, you have one of the highest viewerships you've probably ever had in centuries.
Because the new champ's going to come out wearing the belt to kick off Raw the day after.
Oh, seriously, it'll be worse than the Survivor Series, the Raw after Survivor Series, where, Sting should have shown up again. If Sting had shown up that night in the first half hour, bricks would have been shat.
It's great booking for him to cash in at Mania just because he is strong enough on the...
I definitely agree. I know Hez wants to talk about some Lucha Underground too. I know this is a pre-Rumble thing, but Hez, if you want to mark out about some Lucha Underground, let's go for it.
Yo, if you're not watching Lucha Underground, you really need to be watching Lucha Underground. Because Ricochet is the shit. Pentagon Jr., Drago, man, fucking everybody is just so epic. And then you got your veterans like Chavo and Blue Demon Jr. I'm personally not a fan of Blue Demon Jr., but he's there,
My favorite veteran you have on that is actually John Morrison.
Is John Morrison really a veteran, though?
I mean, are you shooting down over 6 years of in-ring skill?
What makes you a veteran, though? Like, yeah, he's only... I mean, okay, he's like almost at his 10-year mark, I guess.
I mean, he's been going longer than Ezekiel Jackson, who's also in the promotion.
That's true.
And, I loved Big Zeke, so I feel like that's still pretty fucking cool.
I love Morrison being there because he's a name that'll draw attention to them, and he's someone who can run the pace of the other guys that are in that ring. The roster's really good, and it's back to what I love when we're talking lots of action, lots of fast pacing in a match. Not a lot of downtime with people standing around and taunting as someone's down and taking breathers. And Morrison's great for that. He's like the right person to be throwing into the mix of Lucha.
If we're going to talk Rumble, how do you propose upon presenting a segment?
Well, it's going to have to be completely separate. We're going to acknowledge that.
So maybe you would start out with Kayfabe Gimmicks is now being interrupted by Snuva and Unclean Spitter.
Yeah.
I like it. And you would just start listing off the facts. The way the Rumble has been worked out over the course of the last, 20 years?
A good 20 years, yeah.
I want to say this is actually, oh god.
Is it 20?
88, dude.
Damn.
So it is actually over 20. We're at 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26 years.
That's a long time.
It's a lot of time.
That they chose the Rumble to be, to run that long. They killed, look what all they killed. Well, they killed the King of the Ring. The Survivor Series, I guess it's the original match. I guess it's still around kind of sometimes when they want it to be.
Yeah, but Survivor Series is still going on every year. But this SummerSlam and WrestleMania are the 4 longest running pay-per-views, and they're honestly the 4 best pay-per-views of the year. I think even when we are not into the weekly or even the monthly product, especially come Royal Rumble and WrestleMania time, a lot of us like to tune in again.
Yeah, well, it's the big 4.
And SummerSlam and Survivor Series are pretty whatever for me. But Royal Rumble through WrestleMania is always one of my favorite times of years.
Yeah, they make a big deal out of SummerSlam. I honestly think that the Royal Rumble is it's better. In my eyes, it's Mania and the Rumble. Mania number 1, the Rumble at number 2.
And if we're really going to go on that list, I'd say my number 3 would be the classic but fabulous Money in the Bank by now.
It took me a while to warm up to Money in the Bank. Like, it took me a little bit to be like, okay, that's dope.
I enjoyed the match as soon as I saw it, and the fact that they gave it its own pay-per-view, I was kind of like, oh, at first. But over the course of the last few years of having it exist as its own pay-per-view, my only problems have been when it wasn't for 2 briefcases.
Well, yeah, because you hate that the brand not being split.
I don't really care about the brand split as much. I know I talk about it a lot, but I would rather we just have 2 belts. I think I got into it either into the last podcast or the one we're interrupting. Dear God, I forget, fellows. But when I watch these when I watch these things, I love having 2 belts. I feel like it leaves more story options. Nobody cares about Miz flirting with Jey Uso's wife. They'd rather see 2 men felt for a piece of shiny.
Yeah. Which, by the way, I watched the episode of The Divas for the first time ever the other night.
You watched Total Divas?
I watched the episode of it. I was flipping through the network you know what? I think I'm going to watch an episode. It was a pretty recent one too. And I got to see the redheaded chick's fallopian tube, so that was something.
What?
Yeah.
You didn't get to see her naked, but you saw her fallopian tubes?
Yeah, I didn't get to see her naked, but I seen the fallopian tubes.
Alright, so we've actually been recording for a while, dude, so we should get into this.
Alright.
I'm going to start it. Triple H has amassed the longest combined time in the Royal Rumble match, racking up 3 hours, 51 minutes, and 32 seconds over the course of 8 separate appearances.
Alright, so these had to be during the Ruthless Aggression area.
Yes, definitely them. And you gotta remember, his last time he won one was actually 09. No, he didn't win 09. My bad. He did not win 09.
Well, he's had the longest. Santino actually has the shortest time, which is just 1.9 seconds. And it was Kane, and he knocked him out in 2009. He threw him out. And who was it before that? It was the Warrior or something. What was his name?
Ultimate Warrior?
No. Fuck, who was that dude? Warbird or some shit? I can't remember. But Santino beat him with that 1.9. And
Well, Roman Reigns has eliminated the most superstars in one Rumble, expelling 12 grapplers last year in 2014 to beat Kane's record of 11 from 2001. So for 13 years, Kane had a record of the most eliminations in one fucking Rumble.
Yeah, and what the all in all, at not just one Rumble, but all the Rumbles, Kane and Shawn Michaels has removed 39 over the top rope during their 17 and 12 appearances, respectively. I think Kane he's got 17 Rumbles.
And it's a record in itself, and the Devil's Favorite Demon also competed in the most consecutive Rumbles, because he did 13 of them straight.
And, do they count the Isaac Yankem?
I don't think Isaac Yankem made it to a Rumble, but I can't tell you yes or no on that one.
I think he may have. I'm not completely sure.
I'm
Shawn
not
Michaels
positive either.
Well, Shawn Michaels, Austin, Orton, and Batista have all made the Final Four most frequently, 5 times, with Kane, John Cena, and Triple H with just 4 behind them.
Yeah. And then we have the fact that the 2002 Rumble, this one was won by Triple H, was the longest in history with 1 hour, 9 minutes, and 23 seconds, while the 98 Rumble, which had just 20 entrants, was the shortest. It was 30 minutes, 33 minutes exactly, apparently.
Wow, that's
Really
crazy.
feels short.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds crazy short for a Rumble. And
I'm surprised that the 40-man Rumble was not the longest. That was 2011, and Del Rio won it after he tossed out Santino Marella. That year, I don't know if you were watching like I was, but I was really hoping Santino was going to win.
yeah, I mean, well, look who it was.
I know, man, but it was just so last second. We all thought Santino had lost, Del Rio had won, but Santino appeared out of nowhere. He had a great moment. He had a great match in the Elimination Chamber that year, too. And it was really that time when they could have pushed him.
Yeah, they could have. I just don't know. I never seen him as like, because when they first introduced him, he was just the dude they picked out of the crowd and he won, and he was never really built up to be anybody that was worth anything. But I think the 40 superstars in that Rumble, I think that was it's probably a bunch of old school dudes came in and got kicked out really quick is why it wasn't the longest.
There was a few of them, I will admit. There was a few of them. So tell me, how do you feel about the number 27?
Well, number 27 is the lucky number. It has the most Royal Rumble winners at 4. But number 24 is closest with 3. But number 27, it's been the most, and it's been Big John Studd, Yokozuna, Bret Hart, and Steve Austin, all of them winning at coming in at number 27. So that's the lucky number.
I think the lucky number is 3 for Stone Cold Steve Austin, because he won 3, which is the most Rumble victories, whereas 4 other people are tied for second place with 2 wins, and that's Shawn, Hulk Hogan, Cena, and Batista.
Yeah, and Hogan's was early, too. Early.
Well, we're talking about something we just said. It's been running for, 26 years?
Yeah.
So, Batista won 2 times from the 28th spot. And that's the only time a wrestler has won from the exact same spot twice.
That's crazy. But that was Batista. That was, do you think that was 2 years in a row, probably? No.
They
It was.
They weren't.
Yeah, it was. Okay, it was the first time he won it, and then it was last year.
So actually, Shawn Michaels at 41 eliminations and Kane's at 39. We were debating this in the main podcast as well, which we are interrupting currently. We will get back to that shortly. But this is a Rumble podcast, guys. We got to talk about Rumble numbers. So, if we're going to talk about Rumble numbers, I really don't want to say all of the Iron Man times, but I think one of the most interesting ones is Bob Backlund actually lasted an hour, a minute, and 10 seconds in 1993.
Coming in at number 2, too.
Benoit, oh God. Depression
Benoit.
hits.
Ooh.
But Benoit had an hour, a minute, and 30 seconds. And then Ray actually won it all with the 2 minutes and 12 seconds back in 06.
So he beat it by a minute and something or whatever.
Yeah. But at the same time, I mean, the Ray win was really impressive. And that was a really good year because Ray went on, and that's the year it was Ray versus Randy Orton and Kurt Angle in a triple threat match at Mania. And it's way too short of a match, but it's a classic, and I love that match.
Yeah, it really was. But Ray, he's that dude that can go. I mean, not now like he used to, but he's banged up. I really think that he needs to come back for a year and do a retirement match at Rumble. I mean, not at Rumble, but at Mania, and just
I hear. So we talked about how long Triple H has been in the Rumble by himself, in total. The second longest guy by himself is Shawn Michaels. He has 3 hours, 42 minutes, and 30 seconds. Now, the interesting thing is the average Iron Man entrant number is around 5. If you average them all out, the people who last the longest in the match come in around 5. And their average time between everybody is around 44 minutes and 15 seconds. So that's saying whoever enters this Rumble this year is going to be there for around 3/4 of an hour of whooping ass and surviving somehow.
Yeah, so I say we were going to be looking at somebody who comes in early is going to be in there a while.
I don't want it to be Reigns, and I don't just say that because I don't want him to break all of these records, but I really feel that if Reigns enters, especially if he enters 27, I'm sorry, Reigns winning, as much as it's bad for business in the fact of, well, will that be a good Mania match? It's the most throw you off. Does that make sense?
Yeah, completely.
And if they want to push this guy, they're going to have to take him in a very different direction than what we're used to seeing. We're used to seeing them build him as, oh man, he's so good, he's so strong, he's so powerful. But either they have to make him last until the very end and actually win again, or they need to actually have him come in at the end and win it. And I think that would be better for him.
Yeah, I don't think he needs to come in. I don't think he could handle it if he came in early, to be honest with you. I don't think he could go that long and then last to the end to have a big explosion at the end.
The joy of the Rumble is the fact that there's a lot of time to rest in it. Honestly, there's a lot of time where you can be just sitting in the corner putting a rest hold on some guy and just chilling out for a couple minutes.
Yeah, but I mean, even with
That's
that,
the joy of 6 men in a ring at one time.
even with that, I don't think they would take the chance of that, especially with him having that surgery recently.
He might fuck himself up, and that might also be the problem here. So if we look at all of the guys who have lasted long amounts of times in the Rumble, they've lasted for a total of 19 hours, 52 minutes, and 14 seconds. Almost a day in that ring. Now, the shittiest of them was John Cena, who lasted 22 minutes and made a shitload of people cry back in 2011. Just saying. That was actually 2010 that he did that, and nobody was very happy.
Yeah.
And we already talked about the longest being Rey Mysterio. So if we're going to move on, let's talk about women in the Rumble.
Okay.
Do you know who the 4 were?
China. She was in the 99 and the 2000. She took out Mark Henry and Chris Jericho.
Now, I think that is the most impressive. Actually, it's not. Maybe it's not. But for that time period, taking out Mark Henry still impresses me.
Yeah, well, you got to think about it. China, that was when she was being looked at more as a sex symbol, I guess, or whatever, as much as she can be.
I mean, Yeah, that's a terrible discussion that we should do a podcast.
Oh my god.
But let's go on to 2012. Karma came in and took out Hunico, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But it's Hunico. That's not very impressive at all. Do you know who the other one is, though?
Yeah, Beth Phoenix, 2010, and she took out the great Khali.
I would find that really, really impressive if it wasn't for the fact that Khali sucks.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, we talk about people sucking, but I think it's general knowledge that nothing was ever worse than Khali.
yeah, he was never. Man, it's like he's got like his legs are fake to me. Like he's got fake legs, and it's like, yeah, he's this tall fucking dude, but Jesus Christ, like he can't like walk around. Like you can't. How you gonna Irish whip that dude? Really?
No, I mean, he was just too much of a problem. Like, Big Show's huge, but Khali, they actually had problems wrestling with him. They had problems with him doing stuff. Besides his look, and he didn't even really have a great look.
Yeah, he didn't. It was like sticks, man. Motherfucker had popsicle sticks for legs.
Now, Yokozuna was the heaviest superstar to ever win the Rumble at well over 500 pounds.
Yeah, then you got Mysterio, who's got the shortest. He's the shortest in the history.
He's also the only masked wrestler in history to win the match.
And if you want to go even smaller than that, Hornswoggle was the smallest to ever compete in the Royal Rumble match.
I mean, you know how tall Hornswoggle is?
Like 4'4".
Exactly. Fucking midget. Actually, you know, that actually puts him over the height of a midget, because I want to say a midget's 3'5". We actually love Hornswoggle, and we love the Muppets. At least this guy does.
I don't know about the Muppets.
You don't love
I really do.
How do you hate them?
I mean, it's just the fucking Muppets.
I watch a Muppet Christmas Carol.
I fucking hate Christmas and throw some Muppets on top of it. It's like a double hate sandwich.
Me and Hornswoggle are going to kick the shit out of you.
I love Hornswoggle, though. I think me and Hornswoggle kick it.
Except he loves the Muppets.
Well, I mean...
He even has tattoos on the
shit,
Muppets.
does he really?
He does, man. The Hornswoggle's a shit. I might tweet this out to Hornswoggle. Be like, Hornswoggle, I talked about how awesome you are. My homie thinks you're pretty
Which
cool.
Muppets is it that he's got tattooed?
I won't know. I think he's got Miss Piggy, Kermit, and Animal.
Well, at least he's got Animal on there.
Animal is the shit. So, the most appearances in a single Rumble goes to Mick Foley because he showed up as Mankind, Cactus Jack, and Dude Love. All in one match. Now, I don't think this is in our list, but one of my favorite Rumbles, it was either 2012 or 2013, when Booker T, JBL, Michael Cole, and Jerry the King Lawler all left the table at separate points during the Rumble and fought. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. I like it whenever they incorporate like the announcers and some shit like that. Especially JBL.
I love the announcers.
Especially JBL, man. Like that last Raw, he was like, you know what, fuck it. Went in there and clotheslined the hell out of that dude.
Now, in 94, we actually had two winners at the same time. Bret the Hitman Hart and Lex Luger.
Yeah, that was damn, how'd they settle that?
I don't know. They both got announced the winners, so I think they both won. I don't know what happened that year. It looks like we need to go back and watch T94's WrestleMania.
Yeah, because they did something funky with that after that. Because I remember when it happened, I was like, well, what the fuck are they going to do?
Now, Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Every winner of a Royal Rumble match has held at least one championship during their reign in the company, except for Hacksaw Jim Duggan, who won the first ever Rumble in 98.
And that was before they put the title up at Mania for the Rumble.
Okay. But then it gets weird because every winner of a Royal Rumble match has held at least one WWE or World Heavyweight Championship during their reign in the company, except for Hacksaw, Big John, and Lex Luger. But I know Lex Luger held the World Heavyweight Championship if we consider that the WCW Big Gold still.
I don't. As soon as it came from WCW, I didn't. I consider it was just the world or whatever.
So apparently, we lied a little bit ago. The longest Rumble match was the 40-man. It lasted for an hour, 10 minutes, and 10 seconds. It had 10 extra people. And, besides that, the longest one went to 2002, which we already spoke about, which was 1 hour, 9 minutes, and a few seconds. So it was only about a minute longer with 10 extra people.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it was a lot of quick in and outs, I think.
So, one of my favorite superstars ever holds the record for the most participants necessary to eliminate him. And I know I'm going to get a lot of flack, and I'm going to shout this out to Mark O'Leary, but I loved the man, and you can all go to hell, but Big Daddy Viscera. This was during the Viscera days. It was 07. And Viscera, I mean, he's just a creepy fat man. God bless his soul. He's dead now. But something about Viscera losing the sexy pajamas and going back to Giant Monster was awesome for me. Even if he wore suspenders. And
I don't know, man. I kind of like the sexy Viscera. No homo, but yeah.
I mean, I hate people who say no homo, and I feel like you're gay for Viscera.
Well, I mean,
I feel like you having to feeling like you need to clarify that makes you gay for Viscera.
I mean, I say a lot of gay shit, and I think I should get a pass on this, honestly.
So does our homie Alex. Shout out to the Beast who couldn't make it on this episode because he had to work.
Motherfucker. All right.
But so things got interesting. So the second place on the most people taking out one guy at the same time goes to Mabel, who was another Viscera character. Yeah. And it took 7 to eliminate Viscera back in 94. I'm really surprised this title has never been broken or beaten, though, with people like Big Show, Kane, Khali. It's crazy. Third goes to Earthquake, Rikishi, and Muhammad Hassan. Hassan was a tiny little dude, so I don't understand.
Well, I think that might have been the thing. Like he was tangled in the ropes, and they couldn't get the little ass out.
I mean, I feel like they should have done that angle more justice. It would be really cool to see some little guy fight off 8 dudes at one time.
Yeah.
They can't knock him out. And the 90 Rumble, it took 6 men to eliminate Earthquake. It took 6 men to eliminate Rikishi in 2000. And it took 6 to eliminate Hassan in the 05 Rumble.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the whole being small thing. The record for the most consecutive eliminations in a single Royal Rumble match is 7. 3 men have accomplished that. Diesel, he did it in 94. Rikishi did it in 2000. And Khali did it in 2007. And that's the whole Khali thing again. Trying to build him up as Unstoppable Giant.
You know, as soon as he debuted, I realized he was that guy from The Longest Yard, and that's what made him weird.
What? Was he in the movie before he was in wrestling?
Yeah, that movie came out before wrestling.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so it was kind of weird. It's kind of weird. I was like, oh, you were in that Adam Sandler movie, bro.
I guess that was probably when they were, quote-unquote, training his ass.
So a total of 48% of Royal Rumble winners have gone on to capture the Big Gold or the WWE at WrestleMania during the year they won. So that means less than 50%. So whoever wins tomorrow night, being Sunday, but probably by the time you listen to this podcast, it doesn't really mean jack shit. I mean, we're doing a lot of thoughts about who's going to win this, but that doesn't mean they're going to take the belt.
Yeah, not necessarily. That's less than half. So you got to think. But I think whoever wins it this year is going to take that belt, if not for a few seconds.
And I ask everybody obviously at the end of the episode about this, but I want to ask you a question. Okay. Do you think there's a chance Lesnar could or should retain at Mania if he's going to continue his contract?
No.
You don't think, even if he decides he's going to continue his contract, you think just take the belt right off him?
I think the belt has to change hands at Mania. I don't think that he can retain and drop it. He can't be beat after Mania. Mania's the big show. He can't be beat after that at a lesser pay-per-view because he beat the streak. He's the beast. He's the fucking dude that suplexed Cena 1,000 times or whatever. And you know what I'm saying? He can't be beat at a lesser show.
I'm going to paint a picture for you. I got some fantasy booking for you, okay?
All right, Booker, man.
I want you to hear this. We just came off one of the greatest Raws I think we've all ever watched. And what made it so good was Lesnar was not monster heel. He was kind of lost puppy dog thanks to Paul Heyman. But what if in the next couple of months we have Lesnar turn on Heyman and fight the Authority? What if Lesnar fights the Authority? He doesn't have to do anything besides his regular scheduled appearances. We know he's got quite a few of those left. Going into Mania, you're going to want to keep your champion strong. So if you have Lesnar do a face run, I think it's best for business right now.
It would have to...
You've got the faction for him to fight against, and it's fun to watch. You've got the Weasley heel to see that you want to watch because you don't know if Seth Rollins can take him down.
Well, there you go. That's the perfect thing. That's the perfect reason why he should lose the belt either to Rollins or lose it, then Rollins picks it up. Then he could be a face, but I don't know if he can ever be the face because he beat The Undertaker. He beat the streak at WrestleMania. He made the little boy in me cry.
I know, man, but part of me still wants to love him. I've always been a fan.
I don't know. I mean, fuck.
Oh, weren't you a fan?
Not really.
Weren't you so happy when he came back? I was a fan.
Not really, man. Like,
I love how big and powerful Lesnar.
yeah, he's great. He's great. He's got the body. He's,
The F5 is one of my all-time favorite finishers.
He's a beast. But I don't see him as being likable. I can never like him again after him beating The Undertaker. He's got so much heat from me.
I kind of thought that too, man. But, the smarky little Mark in me, either the Mark came out or the Smark died. And when he came out and he was talking shit and he was being all that ass at Raw, I was kind of happy.
Yeah, no.
I was like, fuck
I was digging it because that's what he should be doing. That's what he should have been doing this whole time.
Like, I don't really hate Brock Lesnar so much as I want to smack the shit out of Paul Heyman.
Well, Paul Heyman knows how to get under people's skin.
Paul Heyman's a creepy pedophile-looking new motherfucker, and that's why he's so good at getting underneath people's
I mean, he's really, really fucking good at it.
I just expect to look out my window and see Paul Heyman in the tree with a pair of binoculars.
And his black van parked down at the bottom of the tree.
It's down the block, actually, so nobody realizes he's at your house. They think he's at somebody else's.
It's got cable company spray painted on it and shit.
Technically, before I leave this subject, actually, tell me honestly, you really can't see a good Lesnar face run at all?
It's possible, but he can't do it as the champion, and he can't do it in the space he is right now. Like they could run it from now till Mania to where he's a bad guy, but things are starting to be to where he's starting to be like, fuck the Authority, and him and Rollins. That whole beef right there could set it off, but it would but face it, if he's going up against Bryan, he can't be fucking face.
Well, I talk about this on the podcast, but I just don't feel like... Alright, you're billing him as the beast. You've built him up into this monster. And Daniel Bryan surviving like Rey Mysterio versus Khalid does nothing for me, whereas Rollins weaseling his way in there and somehow sneaking a win on Lesnar works.
Well, see, I don't think it would be if Bryan went up against Brock. It wouldn't be like that. He wouldn't be trying to just survive. He would fucking out wrestle him because he can do that.
I know, but you're not going to get a good technical match between the two of them.
I think you would.
You think Lesnar is capable of putting on a good technical Bryan
With Daniel Bryan in that ring with him, I think it is possible. Look how good CM Punk made Cena look in that whole rival between those two.
Fuck you, Cena's awesome. I was actually going to go...
Technically.
I thought we were on the same page, man, because I was going to go, look how good CM Punk made The Rock look.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about Cena.
No, seriously, think about it, man. CM Punk made The Rock look better than John Cena made The Rock look.
That's it.
Like, it was like watching The Rock in 2000 again.
Not really, man, because what killed me about that match is he was like, the Shield intervened and whatever, and The Rock was like, no, Vince.
No, they had a rematch. You forgot about the rematch and elimination?
Yeah, but it wasn't.
It was still good. It was a good fight.
I didn't even care about it because what was the point? What's the point?
I'll raise it to you like this. The John Cena fight that happened afterward, there was a kick from one of them that didn't hit. You could see that it missed, and they still fell down.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
So, anyways, we got sidetracked. Right. This is going to be a hella long pre-Rumble podcast, guys, but we really appreciate you listening.
Let's get back to the stats. We just got a little bit more to go through.
Number 30. You want to talk about
All right. Number 30. Everybody thinks, I want to get number 30 because it's a guaranteed win. But prior to the year 2011, only The Undertaker in 2007 and Cena in 2008 has actually won coming in at number 30. That's only 2 people coming in at the last possible one.
Undertaker came in, I think this was actually his last World Heavyweight Championship reign, but he came in, won, challenged Batista. It was cool. They let him choose who he wanted to fight. And he went ahead and chose Batista and took out Batista. I don't remember the John Cena one, and I think somebody else won in 2011. Now, Shawn Michaels and Benoit are the only 2 who ever won while entering first.
Well, technically, didn't Vince and Ray do that too? No, they came in at number 2.
Technically, they only.
Yeah, because they came in at number 2.
Because they came in at number 2.
That's a fucked up technicality, but it's true. On paper, that's what it holds up as.
Now, John Cena does have the record for winning in the shortest amount of time. When he entered at number 30 at 2008, the match ended 8 minutes and 27 seconds later.
Yeah, that's... 2008? That was... what was going on in 2008? Who was he beefing with?
Wasn't that Triple H?
Yeah, that was when he was... when he was just becoming...
There's a lot of fucking...
That was when he was just becoming Super Cena, so...
He was pretty much damn straight Super Cena by then, but... That's fine. I don't hate Super Cena like a lot of the smarks do. I've said it once, I'll say it again.
The thing about Super Cena is that it's the whole... He's Superman. CM Punk cut a promo about it. He nailed the fucking... He hit the nail on the head with the hammer of the pipe bomb that blew up, and he was on stage, and people listened, and people watched, and him and John Cena had a fucking killer match on Raw one night that was better than probably any match I've ever seen Cena in.
Then you need to go watch the 2006 episode of Raw where Cena and Shawn Michaels fight for over an hour.
Yeah, but I don't think everybody holds Shawn Michaels up here like he's one of the best wrestlers.
I'm not doing that, man. I'm just saying the fact that Shawn Michaels and John Cena fought for over an hour on a regular episode of Raw, it was insane.
I think it's quality over quantity, though. Like the match had everything.
The match was a good match. That was a good match, dude.
Well, I mean, that's.
I understand you might not be a Shawn Michaels fan, but for me in that day and age, to see John Cena actually do an hour-long match and it wasn't boring, you were actually kind of sitting there like, if it got weird because you're like, man, this match hasn't ended yet? Why isn't this match over? How the fuck are we going to end this match?
I don't know. I'll go back and watch it, and I will come back with my opinion.
I respect you.
I will watch it with an open mind and a closed wallet. So I'm going to watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, I understand. But back to that John Cena winning 08 thing, it was Randy Orton versus Triple H and Cena.
Yeah, that was a triple threat. That was a good match. That was a good match.
The awesome one where Cena had the marching band perform the instrumental version of My Time.
Yeah, that was a good match. I remember that match. I remember watching it, and I was like, I kind of did. I liked Cena back then. I didn't like him after the whole Nexus thing and all that. I think that's what kind of killed it for me. But anyways, let's get back to these stats.
All right, get back to your stats.
All right. 9 wrestlers who have competed in the very first Royal Rumble match have gone on to win the match. That's Jim Duggan, John Studd, The Nature Boy, Yokozuna, Lex Luger, Vince McMahon, Brock Lesnar, Chris Benoit, and Alberto Del Rio.
Oh my god, that's terrible. Oh yeah? Well, 3 former WWE superstars won 2 Royal Rumble matches in consecutive years. Hulk Hogan was the first to do it, winning 90 and 91. Shawn Michaels did 95 and 96. And Stone Cold got 97 and 98.
That was all 3 of those dudes. Think about it. Think about how long that was that they were hot. They were the man to go and win back-to-back Royal Rumbles. Think about that. Only 3 people. The Rock didn't even do that.
I understand. We have got to get back to our regularly scheduled program of Kayfabe Gimmicks. But as always, it's hella fun to have you here,
That's
Matt.
right. Loving it.
Because you're always on this podcast, even if you didn't show up on the pre-Rumble episode quite normally. I know it's a really long listen, guys, and we kind of just offset everything. But I'm going to outplay you with a little bit of... Can you hear that?
I can't hear it.
How about now?
Still can't hear it.
You can't hear it. It's happening.
Shit.
It's a marching band.
C-Nation.
Doesn't it really sound as impressive as I thought it
Yeah,
would?
it was. It's not.
Well then, fuck that shit. John Cena sucks. And CM Punk is nothing but a John Cena dress-up wannabe from fucking... Oh no, he wasn't one of the dress-up Cenas. He was one of
Yeah, he was one of the mobsters. It was Ziggler that was the dress-up, right?
I think so. Look, we're going to have an awesome pre-WrestleMania podcast as well. I don't know what we're going to do for this next pay-per-view. We're definitely going to talk about it, guys. We're definitely going to be there. And we appreciate you guys. As always, continue on with the show. The amazing things are going to happen, okay?
All right, y'all be good.
All right. Peace. But more importantly, eliminations. Kane is at what, 35 this year, I want to say? We'll have the exact things in here.
Kane's at 38.
And Shawn Michaels is at 41?
39.
39. Kane beating Shawn Michaels' streak this year?
Or at least tying it.
You think he might get one?
I don't know, man, because we got screwed last year, remember? He didn't eliminate nobody.
Yeah, Reigns instead broke the most eliminations in a single Rumble thanks to he actually demolished Kane.
Yeah, it's like, Kane, we're not even going to give you a single elimination, and this green guy is going to destroy your record.
All in one go.
Yep.
We need to let Kane. We need to let Kane get some eliminations, because other than, the guy bringing Hellfire, which he's definitely not anymore, we don't have anything that's really going to give us a reason to induct him into the Hall as soon as he retires. And he should.
I'm not gonna spank you. Come on. Go put the footstool away, okay?
Holy shit, Toad.
And that's gonna have to get edited the fuck out.
What'd you say?
Get the hell out of here, Cece. They can hear you. That's Cece throwing her little crybaby fit. Run away, Cece. Alright, Cece's gone.
Don't make me beat you.
Don't beat
But
me,
yeah,
Lana.
definitely I agree with you, dude. To keep Kane relevant, he really does need at least 1 or 2 more eliminations.
I feel like Kane should go all the way to 50 this year. Kane should take out the entire fucking mid-card.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I don't give a shit. Kane should come in there and take out the entire fucking mid-card and be like, I'm motherfucking Kane.
Him and Roman Reigns have a elimination contest.
Oh, that would actually be kind of cool, dude. I'll give you that
That
one.
would be an awesome back and forth. And then also, let's look at this realistically. The Authority's not going away anytime soon. And if we don't make Kane look like Big Muscle, then they all look like punks. If Triple H has to take out the trash himself, then why does he have those guys around?
Yeah, Big Show should also get a decent amount of eliminations and not be easily taken out this year. But, I mean, this goes into
That's
your
a
whole
major
problem.
point for me, because we all know that Triple H can go toe-to-toe with anyone. He's the boss who's not afraid of getting his hands dirty. But if you've got Kane on your team, he ought to be pulling his weight and not needing to get Triple H's hands dirty any more than he wants to, which means staying. So Kane needs to do a whole bunch of eliminations so that Triple H can look at him and say, take care of my light work, and have the people believe it.
I could definitely see all of that. So, I think we're going to have a good Rumble match. Whether Reigns wins it or not, I think we're going to have a good Rumble match. I definitely expect a good Kofi spot monkey moment again, because we get one of these every year since John Morrison left.
Mm-hmm.
Which isn't a bad thing. I still like Kofi.
Oh, no. Yeah.
I still feel like Kofi's one of the most underused superstars we have.
Boy, did they miss the boat when they didn't do anything with Kofi versus Orton's a feud.
Oh my fucking god!
Oh,
Thank God somebody
dude,
else fucking agrees.
he threw the paint on the fucking car. That was epic.
That whole feud was fucking epic, and where did we go
Yeah,
with
it
it?
was,
Nowhere.
dude. The
That
boom
could have been a
drop
whole
off
18
out of the
month
stands.
campaign.
It definitely is that moment where Kofi was world heavyweight material. He was fighting and succeeding against one of the greatest heels the company had at that point. And as outspoken as I am about the fact that Randy Orton has gotten really tired as a character, at that point he was still okay.
Yeah, no, because it was all new and it was like, bam. Because they had way different ways to go with it. But I don't know. Does this all go back to like Kofi blowing his gimmick in the middle of Monday Night Raw?
Probably.
You know, because like ever since that promo, it's like it's his push was never the same.
Well, I mean, while we're on the subject, starting with you, Hez, does Orton come back at the Rumble?
Most likely. Comes back at the Rumble, maybe not in it, but comes back in some way, shape, or form. He makes his presence known.
I mean, I feel like, you know, making it into the Rumble as a surprise entrant is always amazing for the crowd, but if he stands no chance of making it into the Final Four, then it's pretty much worthless.
Yeah.
Ruff, what are your thoughts? Is he going to make it into the Rumble?
I think he'll make it into the Rumble. We could probably get a good campaign going between him and Ziggler. But I mean, you're still talking mid-card without a belt to talk about.
Well, I mean, that's pretty much your problem. Your top drawers, your main card doesn't have any belts to defend or fight for besides the one. And your mid card is full of everyone because your headlines can only be like 4 people at most right now with one belt.
Yep.
You don't really have the ability to have a mid card and a main card when you only have one belt on your main card. So you've got maybe 4 people for the main card, and then your mid card is full of your tag teams and your 2 other belts. So there goes out your other 30, 40 guys. It's a damn shame.
Yeah, and I hate to like keep saying that's what made the Attitude Era awesome, but like all you need is like 2 more belts or like even 1 more belt, and it gives people something to fucking do.
I mean, it gives you more reasons, it gives you more stories. Cool, you can do a good story without a belt, but you have to actually have good writing then, and WWE suffered from that for a long, long time.
Well, if we had a Cruiserweight belt, maybe we could have done something with 3MB.
3-Man Band was actually one of those great concepts that really just got fucked over on pretty much every level.
They got mad at Drew McIntyre for getting over.
Drew McIntyre is one of those perfect examples of good wrestlers that went nowhere.
Yeah.
For no reason. And you know what? You know exactly where Drew McIntyre's career went to shit? As soon as we completely said fuck you to the branch split.
No. His career took a nosedive at one specific moment. The fight with his ex-wife.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even remember this. What happened
I was just thinking that.
It was a domestic abuse charge that he put against Tiffany because he wasn't going to hit her back, and she beat the shit out of him. Now, how are you going to look like the chosen one when you let yourself get punked out?
Damn.
There's nowhere for you to be able to build a story because the crowd knows, all of us kayfabes know, and we're going to, he had to disappear for several months or else there would have been a horde of signs that the security would have been ripping signs out of the crowd all night.
WWE's bad about that. Let's wrap this up. I don't want this to be too long, and I know we've had all of our little awesome Royal Rumble trivia in here, but more importantly, let's assume the poster is fake. How likely is that to still be the main way this goes? Hez, go ahead.
I mean, I'm still going with elaborate hoax, but yeah, they have been like moving those pieces into place for it to be that, unfortunately. I don't want to see a Goldberg Lesnar 2, man. It's just going to be horrible.
Go ahead, Ruff. What's your thoughts on it?
I really hope that it's a hoax. I love the idea of Daniel Bryan coming back and proving it again, especially as hard as he's worked his ass off in order to recover from his injuries and his surgeries and everything else. But we all know how much they've been pushing Roman Reigns, even if they're going to give him shitty scripts and shitty promos to try to push out there, and he is not a guy on a mic. And I still wish that it wasn't about big muscle. Now, you can say that that's why Triple H is about NXT, and because he's developing all these guys who aren't big muscle. But then again, here we are with these 2 faces being on the poster. We're talking neither of them are the best talkers in the world. It really makes it hard for
I give Lesnar a shitload of points for last Monday.
I mean, yeah, but we already said that's the best promo of his career, and he's about to leave. So then if Lesnar leaves and Roman Reigns has the belt, then we've got someone who isn't a Paul Heyman guy, who's big muscle and not great on a mic with the belt. And that's crestfallen.
All right. So, final thoughts going out of this. First and foremost, do we think that Lesnar's going to re-sign. Go ahead, Ruff. Do you think he's going to re-sign again?
I think there's been too much teasing between him and Dana White for it to be anything but other than him going to do a couple more matches at UFC.
Do you think he's going to stick around, or do you think he's gone?
I think he's gone. Like, fuck it. I mean, what's the point in having Lesnar around when you have a champ that only shows up every 4 months?
I mean, do you think he's going back to UFC then?
Yeah, most likely. Yeah. Like dude was saying, you know.
I'm going to come at you guys with the fact that what I know about Lesnar's personal health issues, I don't think there's a chance in hell of him going back to competitively fight in the UFC. There's a reason why he retired from it. There's a reason why he's back in professional wrestling. Now, maybe he'll sign a better contract and do more dates. But even if he doesn't, and he just comes in as that monster heel every once in a while, I'm not really against it. I'm not against it at all. To be utterly honest with you, I wouldn't mind seeing Lesnar as the once-a-year guy who takes over for fucking Undertaker at Mania.
That wouldn't be bad, but yeah, just building, putting a title on somebody who shows up every 4 months is just ridiculous.
Especially after you strip the little guy for not defending it for 30 days.
Well, we're going to end this with a very controversial opinion.
Hit me.
I don't think Daniel Bryan deserves the belt right now.
Why?
I don't care to see him win it. I don't give a shit. He already had to waste an entire WrestleMania to watch him fight 2 fights. And they were both shitty. The first fight was cool.
Motherfucker, did you just say waste WrestleMania?
Yeah, last WrestleMania was a waste. I had a good fight for shitty reasons.
Motherfucker.
You hurt your mommy's feelings?
I'm gonna interject real quick back to Drew McIntyre. If you want to see him fucking put on a 5-star match, House of Hardcore 7, yo.
Alright. But listen to me now, okay? WrestleMania started with a decent match between Triple H and Daniel Bryan. I'll admit that. It was a good match. But after that, we had a decent Bray Wyatt-John Cena fight. We had a Battle Royale, which was, a Battle Royale.
It's pretty...
Shitty's Divas match.
Pretty entertaining. Dude, Cameron's titty popped out.
Touche. Shitty Taker match, which ruined WrestleMania all the way.
No, I don't want to talk about it.
You want to cry about it? You can cry about it on here.
It was horrible.
You were there, man. You were there.
I know.
You wasted all of your money to go to one of the worst WrestleManias in existence.
And watch my childhood destroyed in the matter of moments. 50,000 grown men crying, dude. It was horrible.
It wasn't even just that, though, man. And then you had a main event that was crap. It was a crappy main event. There was no wrestling. It was a lot of punching and kicking and rest holds. And, oh my God, outside the ring moments.
But Batista bomb RKO through the announce table.
I wish I would have gotten more Batista than I did out of this past year of wrestling. I got shitty Batista moments, and I like Batista. And I got jack crap from Randy Orton. And I got Daniel Bryan, who ended up getting himself hurt, and ended up having to take some time off. Why am I supposed to want to see this man as my world champion right now? I don't care who wants to respond. Somebody respond to this.
I would have been happier with last year's Mania if we would have gotten a good end to the era with Taker. The point of it was to build the idea that Lesnar could be the world champ and look dominant and everything, and that match wasn't the way to build it the right way. I know that was the intention, and it could have been huge, but it was not a great match. So we're not wasting a Mania by having Daniel Bryan. If you're looking honestly at getting Lesnar away, because Lesnar can look dominant and we can make the most of Daniel Bryan being who he is off of his charisma. And I'd rather have him have to fight against the Authority, especially if Lesnar walks away and Paul Heyman decides that he's going to become the other guy in the Authority.
Dude, I would love to see Heyman in the Authority. But I mean, I'm putting it to you like this, and I really mean this. I'm not trolling. I'm not doing any of that kind of bullshit. I just don't see... Look, Daniel Bryan got hurt, okay? That fucking happens. I had to watch Edge retire. You want to talk about crying? That was my moment right there.
At least I saw the last WrestleMania. What?
I know, man. You were there live. I watched it, man. I was so happy. I loved Edge to death. And I had to watch the man come out there and retire as soon as the show started. And it was tear-inducing. But you're telling me that the man got hurt. Not necessarily you guys, but I've been told that the man got hurt. He didn't deserve to have the belt taken off of him, even though he couldn't really wrestle for about 8 months. The whole 30-day thing was a storyline. They were trying to get him back in that ring sooner. They didn't want to take it off him at all. But he was seriously hurt. And that does not justify that he deserves his rematch. He deserves to be on this fucking squad and doing what they do. They're a team. They're supposed to entertain us.
Well, that's what makes a great champ anyway, doesn't it? As I said, Stone Cold is still... Like, Stone Cold hasn't been in a ring, in a WWE ring, for months and months. And last Monday, we got what's out of the crowd. That's what makes a superstar.
I know, and we're going to get yeses for a long-ass time, man, but don't tell me that Daniel Bryan deserves this match at Mania just because he got hurt. That's what bothers me, I guess.
It's not because he got hurt. It's because he came back and he was ready. That's the way you prove it. And it was the same thing with Triple H. Triple H had his huge injury, was out forever. Came back and said,
he was out 10 months.
Back to my goal, and did it.
Hasn't his eating habits because he's stoned.
I'm not eating.
Look,
I'm sorry.
I understand. No. I understand everything you guys are telling me, but I'm telling you that at the same time, we've had to build without Daniel Bryan, and we've done it kind of successfully lately. Between Harper coming up and showing how good he can be, between fucking Dolph Ziggler showing how good he could be. The fact that, honestly, Wade Barrett's been out because of injury for the same amount of goddamn time, if not longer, and I still feel like he deserves a world championship. He is world champion material.
He is, but that's going back to dude's point of Barrett being pushed too fast too soon.
Barrett's been with WWE for over 5 years now.
Remember Nexus?
It's about time. Yeah, that was 5 years. Did he actually have a world title run during Nexus?
They pushed him all the way to the main event and kept screwing him for the title.
I mean, part of that was just bad WWE booking. At that point, if you'd given Wade Barrett the belt, I don't think the crowd would have had a problem with it. I've said this once before, and I'll say it again. If you look back at when Cody Rhodes first premiered against Randy Orton, people always try to tell me that Cody Rhodes is a main event competitor. Well, if he'd beaten Orton, then I would totally agree with you. But instead, you had him in a shitty legacy. You had him in Damian Sandow's tag team, and that one made him look even worse. His best moments have been dashing and Goldust, Stardust. But you could have had this man as top dog way back then. Youngest champion in 2006.
You could have, but he's not big.
He was
muscle.
way too green when he first debuted.
He's never going to be
been
big
wrestling.
muscle.
He had been wrestling with FCW for a long period of time at that point, at least a year or two. You don't have to... It doesn't matter how green somebody is when they come out in a WWE ring. You could have somebody premiere at the Rumble, win the Rumble, and do a few matches going into Mania, and win at Mania. But if you paint it right, and you show him as dominant, show him as a capable superstar all the way till then, that's World Heavyweight material. You just have to sell it to a crowd. That's all it takes.
Giving the sale is absolutely the answer. But I mean, here we are looking at other things again. Like, I guess what they want to sell is big muscle. And as much as we love a Daniel Bryan and you're saying that he's not ready, you can't tell me that he's less ready to be wearing the big strap and coming out on Raw every Monday night or SmackDown or whatever show that he wants to be on less than Roman Reigns. You can't sell that to me.
I absolutely agree there. I definitely can't, but you can't sell to me that Daniel Bryan deserves it more than your Kofi Kingstons or your Wade Barretts or your Dolph Zigglers. You're people who have been there for years and put in so much good time for your company.
That's what they should be doing, but once again, big muscle wins. It's what I don't like about the company.
Big muscle wins, I somewhat see that, but more importantly, certain people will never really be given a main event chance, even though with the proper writing, they have the skills too.
There's no reason why Ambrose couldn't be champion material. There's no reason for it.
Oh, that dude, that's one man who, hands down, is definitely world championship material. But look at Damian Sandow and his cash-in of Money in the Bank. There's a perfect example of a man who should win the Rumble this year, but more importantly, should have been a world champion by now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because Sandow can go in the ring.
Well, I don't know if you guys saw it, but I posted a video of when Sandow cashed in his Money in the Bank, and it was one of the most beautiful moments you'll ever watch. He was still running the I'm Smarter Than You gimmick, and he came out there, and he's like, John Cena, you're hurt. You're telling everybody you're okay, but you're still hurt. I can see it, right in your shoulder. And they should have had him decimate Cena right then, right there.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm with you completely there.
But, yo, Wade Barrett now? Dude, that dude looks like a world champion.
Alright guys, we're gonna end the show. Hez, give me somebody other than Roman Reigns or Daniel Bryan to win the fucking Rumble, and mean it.
Wade Barrett.
Rough, right at you.
Dolph Ziggler.
I definitely see Ziggler right now, man. I think we're all still really behind that man. For me, I'm going to go with Ryback. Honestly, Ryback's pretty established with this company by now, and I don't give a shit. Big muscle, whatever. I like Ryback well enough. I think Alex would be behind me on this one, too, for a non-normal choice. Right now is your time to push Ryback. You wanted to anyways. You just got him come back from this big firing angle. Boom. Ryback.
Well, if you're going to be the guy that the Authority can't pick off easily, that'd be great, because in order to get him to break his quote-unquote 30-day defense, he'd be the guy that the Authority would have to do a whole bunch of backstage, drop something on you and get you injured kind of BS too.
Oh man, that could be a great run out. Too bad. I'm sorry. You talk about replacing John Cena right now. You need to find these people who have been with the company for a while and the indie stars and have a good mix. It can't just be the new faces.
No.
I keep saying we're going to end this, but finally, one final question, guys. Who shows up from NXT in the Rumble? Pez?
Oh, dude can go ahead.
Sammy.
Ruff, go for
Sammy.
it. Sami Zayn?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Adrian Neville.
I was going with Adrian Neville too. I really want to see that man in the ring, and I think he could give us a couple of great spots of falling out the ring, but not actually falling out of the ring.
Yeah, Adrian Neville's gonna be their new Evan Bourne on the main roster.
Let's hope nobody is ever Evan Bourne for the WWE again.
Well, minus, always getting... What do you always get suspended for weed? That's so stupid.
Pot, and he kept getting hurt.
Because he fucking does a shooting star press.
No, man, he successfully showed them keep saying this shit, but okay. Final thought of the day. To successfully be able to do the shooting star press in WWE, from what I've seen in interviews nowadays, they make you do the shooting star press onto a dummy 50 consecutive times, and every time they move the dummy.
That's why you can't have another Evan Bourne.
So he successfully did that shit.
Dude, really? You're still talking?
That's why they won't give that move to everybody.
Lesnar needs to bring that shit back at Mania.
I was just saying,
Lesnar beats Roman Reigns by a shooting star press. That's big dollars.
But yeah,
the
shooting star press, the 50 shooting star, 50 consecutive. Can you even imagine what that does to your body? That's worse than, that's got to be physically worse of a trial by fire test than having to do a 2 out of 3 falls match on a Raw.
I feel you guys. But again, this was our pre-Rumble special. I'm Snuva.
I'm Roughly.
I'm Hezzy.
Oh my. And you can find Roughly on YouTube at Roughly, right? You can find us at Eviction Entertainment.